Hi everybody, and welcome to Virtual Sunday School. Now, we've all heard the stories about Jesus' birth and his 40 days in the temple. And we've certainly heard stories about when he was an adult. But where was Jesus when he was your age, when he was 12 years old? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, you've all probably seen the movie Home Alone, where a small boy gets accidentally left home alone by his parents. Mary, Joseph, and Jesus went to the biggest festival of the year in Jerusalem. This was the Passover festival. This was a festival where they had rides, where they had food, where they had games. Think of the Greek festival, but even bigger. Because remember, Jerusalem is a city. So think of like New York City, Times Square. So you've got masses of people and they're all running around and doing stuff. So it's probably pretty easy to lose somebody. So it wasn't like Jesus' parents lost him on purpose. So in the midst of all of this partying and everything like that, Joseph and Mary realized that they had lost 12-year-old Jesus. Can you imagine the panic of losing their own child? But this is even worse. They've lost the Son of God. If they didn't find him, what would have happened? What would the Bible have said? Jesus was born, and then they lost him. And so Mary and Joseph spent an entire day looking for their son. I mean, they went everywhere. So if you were looking for Jesus, where would you go? You'd probably go to the church, right? That makes sense to us. In fact, that's why on a lot of churches, you see right on the front, it says, "Find Jesus here." That's why they have those signs up. No, I'm just kidding. And so Mary and Joseph go into the church, and what do they find? Do they find Jesus now sleeping, or do they find him running around like any 12-year-old kid would? Or did he go and find the communion wine? No, here is Jesus as a 12-year-old boy having these deep spiritual, philosophical, and theological debates with the rabbis and the priests of the temple. And here is Jesus doing exactly what you do in Sunday school. He was seeking truth. He was getting knowledge. But at the same time, what was happening? The priests, because they had been with Jesus, remember, he was there the whole day. These priests and rabbis, they were also getting truth and knowledge from Jesus. So it wasn't just Jesus learning, but it was the priests and the rabbis learning too. And they were very amazed, just like Mary and Joseph, to see this young 12-year-old Jesus with all of this great knowledge and this desire to learn. So Mary, his mother, now turns to Jesus, and even though she's amazed by what he's done, she says to her son, "Jesus, why have you done this to us and left your mother and father and not tell us where you were going?" And do you know what Jesus' answer was? He turns to his parents and he says, "Did you not know that I would be in my Father's house?" Father's house? Joseph is probably thinking, our house is back in Galilee, 80 miles away. But that's not what Jesus was talking about. Jesus was talking about the church, the temple, as the Father's house. And so, just like Jesus, this is what we should all be doing, is we should be seeking truth and knowledge. And where do you find that? Well, certainly you can find that in church, just like Sunday school, what we're doing here. But you can also find it in the lessons that you learn when you go to school, the sports that you do. You can learn a lot from your parents and from your friends. So we should, just like Jesus, always be seeking more truth and seeking knowledge. That's what's important. Now, the final thing, though, that I want to say is that unlike Jesus running away and going to the temple, I'm not saying that you should do that. Jesus didn't have to contend with 80-mile-an-hour trucks speeding one way and motorcycles going the other way. I mean, he couldn't just pull out his iStone and call Uber or text somebody and let them know where he was. Today, things are much different. So it's probably easier if you just ask your parents to bring you to church. And you know what? If you ask your parents to bring you to church, you're probably going to get ice cream.
The Annunciation Greek Orthodox Church of Rochester, New York neither condemns, requires, or encourages the consumption of frozen desserts or alternative confections in exchange, barter, or contract of transportation to or from religious institutions without prerequisite guidance or approval from either a family member, legal guardian, or animated mascot. Consult your local priest, rabbi, or other trusted religious figure for guidance before agreeing to participate in ice cream faith exchanges.